Be sure to listen, like, share, and subscribe for all the latest episodes, news, and updates. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at fistfights.friedricepodcast or at H8L.Muay Thai. On Twitter, follow us at H8L_Fight Talk.
I want this chance to show you that your God in karate is so much nonsense, and that's quite easy to do. I know Kung Fu.
Show me. And thank you for tuning into another exciting adventure of H8L Presents Fistfights and Fried Rice. Tonight's episode is episode 11, Calling All Comics, where tonight we're going to discuss extended universes, Marvel Cinematic Universes, lesser-known comics, obscure comics, and of course, we're going to tackle the latest, upcoming, and previously released comic book to film adaptations. Joining me tonight, I have the man, the myth, the legend, my hetero life mate, my spirit animal, as cool as the other side of the pillow, a one UTBABYA.
What up, y'all?
Also joining us tonight, I have the Bastich himself, Lobo. See, I didn't introduce you tonight as the man that hates ovaries and all things women. You see, you're slowly digging yourself out of that hole, sir.
I'm digging myself out of that hole. Justice fan, not Justice. Deku dug himself even deeper than me, according to a female fan.
This is true. So you know what? With that being said, I can no longer put you in the you hate women category. I see also joining us tonight, the voice of a generation, the human porcupine, the spin kick juggernaut, also known as the sexiest man in podcasting, a one Mr. Mustang 2020. How you doing, dog?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh man, I am excited to talk comic book to film adaptations today. Also joining me, the human encyclopedia, the man that knows all things martial arts, a person whom I don't know whose knowledge goes deeper, a one Mr. Justice Magnificent.
I'm here. Let's go.
Tonight we are talking all things comics. Now, before I get started, is there anyone that has not seen the new Batman trailer?
Ooh, I have not.
You have not.
I'm gonna watch
seen
it on my phone right now.
Yes, you watch that right now, sir.
Oh, Bruce Wayne.
It was good. The dude from Twilight is the new Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But, I'm kind of impressed.
You know what? Those who know me know that I am a lifelong Batman fan, and much like everyone else, when it was first announced that the kid from Twilight was going to be the new Batman, I immediately scoffed and I was ready to shit all over this movie. And I mean, I was ready to just pull my pants down, climb up on director Matt Reeves' back, and shit down his neck, because I just knew that this movie was going to be absolute dog shit. And then we fast forward several months, and then the trailer drops. And holy shit, was I fucking wrong. That movie looks like it's going to be fucking amazing.
I just watched it, and I agree with absolutely everything you just said. And I'm going to go out on an even further limb and say that I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy Robert Pattinson's Batman better than I enjoyed Christian Bale's, for two reasons. One, based off that trailer, the incident where he beats the absolute dog shit out of that gang member. And then the second one, it actually came before that in the trailer. He is just, it looks like, I think his parents were just killed, or I couldn't really tell. The car just crashed into something, and then it cuts to a scene of him just staring with the most intense look I have ever seen, probably on film, and I can't believe it's Robert Pattinson doing that. I think he's going to be better than Christian Bale.
And dare I say it, I'm digging this dude's Batmobile. I'm digging the fact that it's a fucking muscle car with a jet engine in the back of that shit.
Fuck yeah.
That is so awesome, yeah.
My only reasoning for wanting to shit on the movie is because it was the fucking kid from Twilight. But then it dawned on me. When I was a kid growing up and Tim Burton's Batman came out, I remember there were so many people that wanted to shit on that movie. You know, people forget, Michael Keaton, prior to doing the Batman movie, was a comedic actor. All of his movies were fucking slapstick comedies. For fuck's sake, he was Mr. Mom.
I was actually about to mention
Everything
that.
else he did besides Batman was basically comedy.
Yeah, I mean,
two other serious roles he had.
Exactly. Like he was Beetlejuice, comedic role. You know, Mr. Mom, comedic role. So, of course, when he got cast as Batman, everyone was ready to just completely shit on his performance. Jack Nicholson was a very established actor at that time, and he had a vast catalog of different characters that he played back and forth, but none of them were anything like the Joker. It wasn't until after he did the Joker that you really got to see a lot of his acting chops. Like, I think what Tim Burton did with his Batman and Batman Returns set the precedence for every Batman movie after that. Those behind-the-scenes pictures and photos don't do it any justice. And speaking of justice, has anybody had a chance to check out the trailer for Snyder's Justice League?
Yeah. So I'm so curious as to how they're gonna really what are they gonna change about the plot, right? Because they can't change anything as far as the plot is concerned.
Yes, they
So
can.
I'm curious as to are they doing like an alternate ending or something? I realize different
Worked
costumes,
in the industry,
different.
I can tell you a lot gets changed on the cutting room floor.
You have to understand the movie that was released by Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers was not his original script. It was not his original storyboard. Like, prime example, the character of Steppenwolf. If you I don't know if you've looked at any of the behind the scenes shit that Snyder's released online or on his Instagram or any of that shit, it's a completely different storyboard than what Joss Whedon did. Snyder's shit, from what I can tell, is dark as shit. Like, there were characters that were supposed to be in the movie that were supposedly edited out. Like, supposedly Martian Manhunter was supposed to be in it, like a little small cameo. Supposedly Green Lantern supposedly had like a small cameo or some type of green light mention or some shit. Obviously, the black suit of Superman got completely omitted from the fucking movie. Like, if you wonder why his suit was so bright in Joss Whedon's Superman, or in Joss Whedon's version of Justice League, it's because he's wearing the black suit, but they, behind the scenes, did all the fucking digital coloring and shit to make it bright as fuck.
Nice. CGI Superman.
Yeah.
And then that was that mustache thing with them too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that
mustache.
That fucking mustache.
That was awesome.
And like 60%, actually not even 60, I think for like 60 or 70%, if not more, of Cyborg's story and scenes were completely cut. Cyborg is the heart of this story, and they completely cut it.
Weren't we supposed to see him get turned into Cyborg?
Yeah, we're supposed to see him get turned into Cyborg. We're supposed to see his father get murdered the right way. Superman's eventual turn to evil. So there's a lot of little key things that he put into those storyboards that are going to be integrated into his re-release. And I think what's really smart is because he's not re-releasing it as a movie. He's re-releasing it as a 4-hour miniseries.
Which is perfect. Trying to do what they did with that movie, it was the first ensemble for the DC universe.
Yep.
And since they didn't introduce every character with their own movie beforehand, like, you need 4 hours to get the audience involved in every one of the characters' story arcs.
Mm-hmm. And since we're on the subject of Justice League and Batman versus Superman, I have to ask, what are your thoughts on Ben Affleck's portrayal as Batman? But what are your thoughts on everyone's portrayal for the roles that they were cast in? What are your thoughts on Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Ben Affleck as Batman, and Ezra Miller as Flash? What are your thoughts on their performances and their roles?
No.
Wonder Woman can do no wrong.
She's beautiful.
Agreed.
On my future ex-wife?
Yeah. She can do no wrong, period. So let's leave her off the table of criticism, period.
I agree.
I think Henry Cavill did it. I think he did a good job for what he was given to work with. I think Man of Steel. I actually enjoyed Man of Steel a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, I've never been a Superman guy, but he made Superman work for me.
there's a lot that I can shit on, and there was a lot that I hated. But that scene when my man is looking at his monument, and he turns around to see these fucking costumed people that he's never fucking seen before, just looking at him, and dude's armor starts fucking going into attack mode, and dude's like, "Hey man, he's looking at you. Put your fucking cannon down." I can't. my armor can sense that he's a threat. And what gets me is when dude fires his fucking missile, he just casually gets out of the way, sees his monument get blown to shit, and just casually starts floating over towards him. And dude goes into attack mode, holds back Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman by himself. And Flash starts running, and all you see is his eye. And the look that Flash had was like, holy fuck, this is my nightmare.
And by the way, he's choking the shit out of somebody while he's doing that.
Yes!
Right? Like, who was he choking?
I think it was Aquaman, I think. Like, he's literally choking the king of fucking Atlantis like it's fucking nothing. And what gets me, he fucking power headbutts fucking Wonder Woman into the fucking concrete, and then sees Batman and no longer gives a fuck about any of them.
I remember you.
But what my favorite part, though, is at all this shit's going on, you get the one thing that I have told comic book fans for years. Batman's character only works at night. He looked fucking ridiculous in broad daylight in that dark-ass costume, hiding behind a fucking taxi. That was my shit. And like, I said, as a huge Batman fan, I will always say that Batman could take everybody. He'll beat everybody in the fucking DC and Marvel universe, yada, yada, yada. But that scene of my man hiding behind the car, and dude just floats over to him. You won't let me live. You won't let me die. I just don't get you. It snatches him up by the fucking mouth. Not the neck. But the fucking mouth, like a mom would their child. And leaves him fucking dangling there. And there's nobody to help him. Wonder Woman's fucked up. Cyborg's fucked up. Aquaman's fucked up. Flash is still just in shock. And he's just dangling there. My man's like, Alfred, bring out the big guns. Your only contingency plan was your ex-chick.
That's not Batman, though.
Fucking genius.
Oh, man. It was. And to be fair, you mentioned the characters and their portrayal. So I think Affleck did a decent job as Batman. I'm not gonna say he was great, but I think he fit the role well. I think he bulked up pretty well for the role. I think he was a decent Batman.
Yeah,
I would say, Aquaman is a comic relief. Like, that was funny. Like that whole rope scene when.
Other favorite scene, my man's sitting on the fucking rope, and dude's like, I look around, and I don't know, this computer guy might get a fucking virus. This dude runs so fast he might trip over his own feet. Dude, this dude don't even got any fucking powers. And then there's you. Girl, you're so beautiful. I take one look at you, and he's like, there might be beef between the Amazons and Atlanteans, but that was before my time. What?
It was classic.
For the DC Extended Universe as a whole, I enjoy a lot of the casting. Like I said, a lot of people weren't fans of Ben Affleck's portrayal of Batman. I was. And the reason why I was a fan of it is because that was the Batman that we all wanted to see at some point.
Yo, have y'all seen that TNMT Ronin?
Who?
What?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ronin.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, the comics that they coming out with. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So I'm sad.
That shit is dark.
I love the Ninja Turtles.
That shit is dark.
That's a good storyline. That's a good storyline to have. All of them die. And who was it? Is it Mikey supposed to be the last Ronin? I believe.
You don't know. We don't know.
You don't know which one.
I think it's Mikey. It has to be Mikey.
I hope it's Mikey.
Because he goes from the goofy, laughable character to the serious, I'm about to fuck everybody about to die and shit. And it has to be Mikey. It has to be him.
I'm hoping in a perfect world, I'm hoping that it's either Mikey or Leo. And I'll tell you why. If it's Mikey, like Deku just said, what's up, Deku? Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up?
If it's Mikey, that's going to hit hard because it's the goofball younger brother now left in the world with nothing and no one to guide him except himself. So all those life lessons that he either kind of half-assed listened to or kind of partially took seriously, all those are going to come to a head, and I think that's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Now, if it's
Is
Leo,
the Master going to be in this one, or is he dead too?
they're all dead, supposedly.
They're all dead. Oh, he's dead too. Oh, wow.
Like,
Okay.
it's just him.
The entire crew's gone.
Yeah. So if it's Leo, I think that will have the most emotional impact. Imagine you're the leader, and on top of that, you're the oldest brother. It is your job to protect them the best of your ability. It's your job to make sure that they're following their training, they're following the teachings, but most importantly, they're following your lead.
Yeah. And you kind of failed.
And you failed.
Not kind of failed.
You did fail. You fail as not only you fail as a leader, you fail as a brother, you fail as a friend, but most importantly, you fail as a fucking man. That is a swift kick in the fucking nuts. Now, there's only one thing left to do at this point. You have to murder everyone.
Everybody that was involved, like the family, every kids and all, everybody.
You might have to dig up Shredder and kill him again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm dying to see where they go with that. And that's a comic book company that I don't really think gets a whole lot of recognition. Was that IDW, something like that?
I have no idea.
I think it is so. IDW. They don't get a lot of recognition for the shit that they do because they don't have a whole lot of original properties. They buy other people's shit, but they write great storylines. And I really hope that company becomes huge, because it broke my heart when I found out that Marvel nor DC are in the number 1 or number 2 slot. Or I shouldn't say not in the number 1 slot. Viz Media is the number 1 comic book company in the world. The name doesn't sound familiar? No. They are the number 1 producers of anime and manga. Shit like Boruto, Naruto, Bleach. Kind of writes itself at this point.
Oh, okay. It's kind of coming back to me because I've seen them at the end of a lot of anime
exactly.
shows. Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And Deku, since you're on the show, sir, if you would be so kind, what are we eating this evening?
Gotcha. Man, you just gotta love that song, man, that intro. Okay, so what we're eating today, top of the world restaurant of the Stratosphere Hotel. And I had some lamb, some good drinks, but the lamb really got me. They put a little sauce on there that they had and everything, and it just, I don't know, I guess it's their secret sauce, so whatever the case may be, it was delicious. It was, I've never really had lamb before in my life like that. Visiting the Stratosphere Casino Hotel and the top of the world restaurant, you definitely need to try the lamb. It is deliciousness. I still don't know how to pronounce that word or even spell the other word, so yeah, I guess might get an answer next week. Who knows?
I don't know. Deeply appreciate you as always, Deku. Now, Justice, you had made a comment, sir, in regards to some vegan cuisine you had recently as well that you wanted to give a shout out to.
Oh yeah, this place called Doggone Vegans. They do pre-order. Pretty much check them out on Instagram. I mean, this is pretty much vegan cheat meals or junk food, like sausage, dogs, burgers. I mean, it's just the works, and it's just like not the healthiest thing. It's most definitely one of the most delicious meals I ate as a vegan. Period.
Down.
Okay.
Right,
Well,
save me some.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate that. I appreciate that insight in regards to the food. One day I will attempt to eat some vegan food. I mean, it'll be more than likely when I'm locked up and incarcerated and don't have a choice.
No, I'll cook it for you. How about that? I'll do the whole jerk season and everything. You won't even know the difference.
Don't do it, Ty.
Oh, I won't. The idea of Mustang in the kitchen cooking me up a meal just. Do you want to know how I feel about that? Can I articulate how I feel in regards to the idea of you doing that?
You may not. You may not.
It's happening. It's happening right now.
Articulate it.
People, let's hope you I articulate answer. Fucking Mongoloid.
What the fuck was that from?
That's how
I thought he was going to do that. Yeah, it's deep, isn't it?
That's how I feel. That's how I feel in the idea. in
He's
regards
talking that
to
shit,
that.
but let you bring some good food around him, and he ain't got none of that shit to say. He's like, you know what? Let me try that.
Until that
As a matter
day,
of fact, he might
until
bully
that
you
day
for your
happens, until that day happens, those are my inner thoughts. Well, gentlemen, once again, I appreciate you guys filling us in on the delicious food you guys have been eating. Now, back to our discussion at hand. Extended universes, cinematic universes. Now, before we go into the DC and Marvel, because that's the easiest ones to get into, we have other comic book organizations or comic book imprints such as Image, Valiant, IDW, and so forth. Just real quick, what are like 2 or 3 properties from, the lesser, I shouldn't say the lesser known, but of the not so popular comic book imprints that you would like to see go from comics to film, or even comics to the small screen? Like me personally, I would like to finally see a good Spawn movie.
Yes.
I would like Image Comics to get their shit together, scrape up some change, and do a decent, actually no, fuck decent, do a good Spawn movie.
So I take it you didn't like the one from who was that black dude from back in like?
It was Michael Jai White.
You didn't like that one?
Oh, no. Here's the thing. Special effects wise, I loved his costume. His costume looked fucking fantastic.
Agreed.
When
Luis Guzman came in hard on that too.
Yeah, like when John Leguizamo as the clown, when his costume and his makeup is better than yours, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Michael Jai White did not have the acting chops at the time to truly parlay Spawn. He had the physique, he had the fight skills, all that type of shit. But in terms of the acting chops, I didn't believe for a minute that you escaped hell.
Yeah, he doesn't have that grittiness.
Not at all. The dude was like, "Oh man, I'm sad. I escaped hell. Here's some chains." I think with a bigger budget, a better writer, and a more competent actor, I truly think Spawn would blow up the fucking film industry. And let's call it what it is. We need a good black superhero franchise to really get behind. For a brief minute,
Black Panther.
well, for a brief minute, we had it with Blade. Blade 1 and 2 was fucking fantastic. Then they did that third movie, and then it just shit the bed. And while I'm standing on my soapbox talking about black superheroes, can I fucking get a black superhero that doesn't have the word black in their fucking name?
Luke Cage. You got Luke Cage.
Like I'm not trying to be an asshole, but it's like, bro, I get it, man. During that time, I get it. I fucking get it. It was during the time of blaxploitation, Black Lightning, the fucking Black Panther, Black Power Fist. Okay, I get it. It's fucking.
I'd like to see a live action Static Shock movie.
Exactly. It's fucking 2020. You can't tell me that there aren't black superheroes that you can put on fucking film that won't generate a shit ton of money. That's horseshit. They proved that back in the 90s with Spawn. And I think that's where Image Comics drops the fucking ball. They got properties like Savage Dragons and fucking Wildcats. For fuck's sakes, Jim Lee created Wildcats. Like, it writes itself. There's no reason why, and none of these characters are appearing on the small screen. Valiant Comics has some properties that are finally seeing the light of day with
Ninjak.
Yep, Ninjak is finally getting some fucking love. Supposedly, Man o' War is coming to the fucking big screen. Fucking Priest, he had a live action movie, and I think he had a TV show too not too long ago. Yeah, I want to say Priest. I want to say Priest had a show.
Okay.
We don't count that. We don't count that Ninjak versus the Valiant universe.
No, we don't.
We don't count that web series. We don't count that either.
Nope.
That's
pure horse shit. And then you have Bloodshot, the Vin Diesel movie that came out earlier this year. What the fuck? What the fuck? You finally get the big Hollywood movie budget treatment, and man, you cast the complete opposite of what the fuck that character is in every single way. If you're gonna treat the source material like absolute shit, then what's the fucking point? Like Mustang said it best. He's a big Ninja Turtle fan, and you know what? So am I. Growing up as a fucking kid, I never missed that fucking cartoon. And then when I found out that the original comic books were dark as fuck, I was sold. And I've enjoyed just about every incarnation of Ninja Turtle cartoons except for this most recent one, this Rise of the Ninja Turtle bullshit where they don't even have their own signature weapons, and Leonardo's no longer the fucking leader, and it's Raphael, and that's absolute dude, it's horseshit. If you want to fucking hate your childhood, I'll put it to you like this. I watched one episode of Rise of the Ninja Turtles, and I wanted to walk outside of my house and run up to the first living thing that I saw and kill it. That is how angry that made me.
I remember when you sent me the trailer and said, "Can you believe this shit?"
Yeah, I had fucking nightmares. That shit made me want to gouge my fucking eyes. And now I grew up at a time where Jim Henson made the costumes for the very first very first live action Ninja Turtle movies in the fucking 90s, and it was amazing. So what are some properties that you guys would like to see from some of these minor comic book companies that you would like to see get the comic to film adaptations?
What about the Samurai Rabbit Usagi Yojimbo?
That'd be
That's
amazing.
supposed to be coming up on Netflix.
Oh, is it?
Think about that. Yes.
Oh, I'm fucking thrilled. I am absolutely thrilled.
You said the Samurai Rabbit?
Yeah. Usagi Yojimbo?
Oh, UTBABYA. Tell me you know Usagi Yojimbo.
I do not, in fact.
What?
Yeah.
Usagi Yojimbo was a play on the Ronin comic book, or I should say the Ronin graphic novels, where basically Usagi Yojimbo's entire clan gets fucking murdered, and he is the last of his clan. And this dude he's the living embodiment of a samurai through and through. And he basically goes from countryside to countryside, vanquishing evil violently.
Excellent.
And he had a spin-off. He had a spin-off where he ended up meeting Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, and he bested Leonardo in terms of sword fighting. Completely.
A lot of people were pissed off about that.
Well, you would think that it would. You would think that it would, but the character became so popular that they integrated his story into Ninja Turtles. So whenever Usagi Yojimbo would show up, it was like a big fucking deal. All right, so we got Usagi Yojimbo. What's another one you'd like to see get the film treatment?
Film treatment, I'll say, even though they had a TV show, I guess, and they did it wrong, I'm gonna stay with Marvel and go with Iron Fist.
That is not even the topic. We're talking about characters not involved in DC or Marvel.
Oh, my bad. I don't know.
Let me help you out. Which Blade? We need a redo.
Yeah, because you said I heard Blade, and I was like,
we gotta run that
Marvel.
back. Yeah, we got to run Witchblade back. That did not get the proper treatment.
Let's see, what else? Witchblade.
This is going to sound really corny, but I wouldn't mind seeing Savage Dragon.
I was going to say that,
Savage
actually.
Dragon, yeah. I think Image probably has deepest, characters to actually do that.
Yeah.
Maybe between Spawn, Witchblade, and others, is probably them. Like you said, they just need to go ahead and break the bank and just go ahead and start producing some stuff.
I agree. All right, so let me ask you guys this, because I have a feeling we're going to be pretty fucking divided on this. Going back to DC and Marvel, I'm just going to put it out there. I personally think, in terms of who wins the war between Marvel and DC, I will say this much. I think that Marvel wins the live-action movies, but I think that DC beats them everywhere else. I think DC beats them in animated films. I think DC beats them in television shows. And I think that right now, DC is kicking the fuck out of them in terms of comics.
Fair.
I think
don't do that shit, Justice. Come on, man. I'm talking as a whole. Now, both companies have released their fair share of hits, and they've had their fair share of shit films. Let us not forget that Marvel had Howard the Duck the movie back in the 80s. That was a thing.
Hey, that was a fucking classic.
That movie was the shit, but it did not light the world on fire. In terms of lasting ability and box office, you can't deny that Marvel's cinematic universe knocked it out of the fucking park. They did almost everything right. Say what you want about the Captain Marvel films or your interpretation or views of the Black Panther movie, whatever. In terms of a cohesive story that had a beginning, a middle, and an end, Marvel killed it. Marvel absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, they dropped the ball everywhere else. They had a few random good animated movies, and then they realized probably that there was more money in the live action shit and said, fuck this. While DC, on the other hand, let's call it what it is, stumbled. Immediately out of the gate, fucking stumbled. Instead of copying the blueprint that was already laid out in place by Marvel, they tried to fucking mush it all together and just race to the fucking finish line. And let's call it what it is. They fucking failed.
I have some things to say about that, but yeah, they could have actually probably sidestepped this, bullshit clusterfuck if they had just waited a couple years with the Marvel movies, because essentially the Marvel movies really coalesced right around right after everybody saw Civil War, which was 2016, and that was really where you finally saw an ensemble cast on screen in that final battle, or that penultimate battle in the movie, the airport, and that's when everyone went, "Oh fuck!" When this whole thing comes to its actual climax, it's going to be amazing.
I just wish that DC would take the same fuckers that are writing their animated movies and give these motherfuckers jobs to write their live action films. Because whoever's in charge of the animated shit is fucking killing it. There hasn't been a comic adaptation that they haven't done that hasn't been anything less than fucking exceptional.
That's absolutely true.
I would 100% agree.
And it absolutely blows my mind that this is the same company that put out fucking Justice League. Nolan set the bar so goddamn high. With Batman Begins and The Dark Knight and then The Dark Knight Rises. How do you follow that shit? You fucking can't.
You either have Nolan doing on every single movie.
Exactly.
Or you have to go a completely different way.
The best way I can explain the DC, what do they call the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe? Right now, they are the Saw franchise. Where you come out with one movie. Thank you. When you come out with one movie and it's fucking good, it sets the bar and it changes the way people look at things. And then you get ahead of yourself because you know what? You did not write yourself any logical sequels after this. So now what you're doing is you're just rehashing, borrowing, remixing, and just throwing shit at the board to see what sticks. And now it's going to take you 5 or 6 or 7 movies to correct what you did on the other one. What they should have done, Man of Steel 2. Now, maybe somewhere along the lines of Man of Steel 2, you slowly introduce Ben Affleck's Batman. Maybe they take that scene of Gotham City being fucking destroyed and Ben Affleck's Batman runs to the whoever to try to help whomever, and he realizes that he can't. And that's when Batman discovers, holy fuck, there are people from fucking space. Now, maybe also within Man of Steel 2, you get a glimpse, just a glimpse of Atlantis being fucking, destroyed, or Atlantis being what they believe is being as under attack. And now you discover all the myths about Atlantis are true. You slowly introduce the absurdity of things that could not happen in the realm of reality, which is basically what Marvel did. Like Lobo said it best the other day. People don't realize Ang Lee's Hulk actually sets up the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Many people forget that. If that Hulk movie didn't happen, none of this shit falls into place. It's because of the Hulk movie that you meet, what was his name, Thunderbird Ross or whatever the fuck his name is, Thunderbird Ross. Then he
Iron Man, then the Incredible Hulk,
he reaches out to Tony Stark. Tony Stark goes and got Iron Man. Then you got Iron Man 2, and then from there you get the Avengers, the Avengers Initiative. It all just little by little give you sprinkles into each franchise, the next movie after the next. If DC had just taken that route and just, again, Man of Steel 2. And then maybe from Man of Steel, instead of going right into Batman versus Superman, maybe you do, I don't know, fucking the spin-off of a standalone Batman film. Not a fucking origin story, but a standalone Batman film where he's already established. Maybe within that standalone film, It gives you a callback or ties back to Man of Steel. It then gives you glimpses or touches of Aquaman or Wonder Woman, and then you slowly integrate them.
DC's big problem, I think, here was that they saw the success that Marvel was having.
Yep.
Deku!
Yes.
Marvel versus DC, in your own words, who takes this head-to-head battle?
The head-to-head battle, I'm going to have to go with Marvel. The reason being why I'm going with Marvel is because Batman, my favorite superhero and probably the greatest superhero of all time.
I completely agree.
At one point, he could have killed the Justice League. He could have killed a human. Granted, this guy has a lot of money, has all his gadgets and gadgets, pretty much military-based stuff and everything. But in his brain, his intellect, at the end of the day, he's still a human. So you telling me that a human can take down people that can fly, laser beams out of their eyes, damn near demigods in the Justice League? A human can do that. Imagine what the whole Marvel universe can do to them.
I will go first. Batman takes anyone from the Marvel universe. He takes any of them. He takes fucking Thanos. He takes Thor. He takes Captain America and shoves that shield right up his fucking ass. Batman takes a trip to fucking Wakanda, puts down his fucking bat signal flag, and owns that bitch.
What?
I agree with that statement.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Batman is now the new emperor of fucking Wakanda. Batman owns Metropolis. He's got a summer home in the fucking Amazon islands. He's got a goddamn summer home in fucking Atlantis. Batman owns all. And not only does he own all, he beats all their kings and all their emperors in hand-to-hand combat. He whoops Aquaman's ass. He whoops T'Challa's ass, probably twice. He fucking goes to Asgard and takes fucking Thor's fucking hammer and shoves it right up his ass.
Wow.
I'm going to go so far as to say that Batman takes Thor's hammer and fucks him with the handle of it.
I do have one question for you, Ty.
Sure.
Because I know you respect him. How does Batman deal with the Silver fucking Surfer?
Glad you asked. He knocks that motherfucker off his board. That nigga's powerless without that board. Batman is the greatest strategist in all of comic books. The only person the only person that could potentially, and I mean potentially, match him just in terms of fucking IQ would be Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, and I'm not convinced that he would. Calling it now.
How much?
Can I actually say something to back up what you're saying, Chad?
By all means, Lobo, have at it.
The thing about Batman is he'll look into anybody he's even partially heard of. If you're a superhero, supervillain, or whatever, he's already done research on you and figured out how to beat you before he's even met you.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
see, none of you have actually asked me why I feel this way, and Lobo just hit the nail on the head.
Why?
Because Batman is not going to fight you head on. Now, hear what I'm saying. He is not going to engage you head on. Not if it's a fight that he knows that he can't win. That would be foolish.
Which is all of them.
Well, hold on. He knows he can't. He knows he can't get past Captain America's shield. He knows this, but you ain't carrying that shield all the time. He knows that Wolverine's got an accelerated healing factor, so he has to get him in a place or in a predicament to where his skeleton, those claws, are completely neutralized.
Deadpool, please do Deadpool. Oh, here it is.
He'll fuck Deadpool up twice.
Actually, Deadpool's the only one I can see him not beating.
He'll fuck Deadpool up.
Y'all are tripping.
Come on, bro.
So hard
if Batman can take fucking Deathstroke, and Deadpool is nothing but the redheaded bastard stepchild of fucking Deathstroke, he will take a nature trail hike up the ass of Deadpool at his leisure.
First of all,
this is the movie I want to see.
Let's go ahead and we're gonna take it back a couple notches.
Oh, floor is yours, sir.
When you said Batman could beat Black Panther,
twice,
crazy as hell.
Twice.
And what? I don't know. You need to wake up.
He'll smack the black off him.
You're taking, This man has
What
a
type of
whole
weed
damn.
you smoking?
This man got a whole damn country compared to a small ass
yawn.
company.
Yawn.
A country.
Justice, can I ask you a
Yawn.
question real quick?
Yep. Go ahead.
He
Are
can
you
be
talking about Black Panther from comic books or from the movie?
Comics.
Fair enough.
Because that's what he's talking about. He's talking about
I'm
comics.
talking about comics. I'm not even going there with
He's
films.
talking about. Yeah, he's talking about prep. He's talking about the idea of Batman with prep time can beat almost anybody. And if you think for a second,
Oh, it's not almost.
For a
He
second.
will.
you think for a second he's gonna out prep the king of Wakanda.
Yep.
Y'all are tripping. Minds that he will not touch in the Marvel universe before he even get to a Silver Surfer anybody, and that is Victor Von Doom
Shit.
and T'Challa. He will
Shit.
not fuck with them on any level whatsoever.
First off, Victor
Period.
Von Doom's ego would get the best of him.
Just like it did with-
Probably after he beat the shit out of Batman for
You see, Batman will get fucked up by everybody.
right.
He will.
But you see,
he will get fucked
difference
up.
between
He will get
You're also
fucked up.
forgetting Luke Cage beat Victor
But-
Von Doom in a fist fight.
Facts.
You-
But
okay, you
as
you were
a
talking
as a
about-
strategist, he will use all of your strengths against you to ultimately, in the end, beat you.
Goku, Vegeta, Jiren, and Broly. Fuck all of them. How about that? I'm done.
This, my friend, is for all of the nut huggers of the DBZ world.
You're a fucking nerd. You're a fucking nerd. No one likes you. No one likes you.
Yes.
Great, man.
Listen here. Man, in my eyes, the Batman character can do absolutely no wrong, even though he's a horrible father, he's a horrible mentor, a horrible teacher. And on top of that, he clearly fucking hates children, because if he didn't hate children, he would not have little boys running around in primary fucking colors getting fucking shot at while he hides in the shadows. Again, this is one of the reasons why I am convinced that Batman would win, because he is willing to sacrifice other motherfuckers just to see how you do shit. In terms of the overall picture, I have to lean more towards DC. Now, the reason why I say this, like I said in the beginning, Marvel smashes them in terms of movies, the live action movies. But again, DC beats them on the small screen. The whole Arrowverse, can't argue it.
Yeah.
Can't
I'd also
argue
say
it.
video games as well.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
yeah,
Video games,
definitely video games.
they shit
I'm
on
still
them.
playing Injustice 2.
Oh yeah.
That Injustice storyline changed lives.
And that's the only way that they can compete with the cinematic universe. They need to make an Injustice movie.
They'll
That
never
is
do
the
it.
Only
They'll
way that
never do
they
it.
can compete.
They'll never
That's
do
all
I
I'm
it.
agree
saying.
with
Man.
Taz earlier, though.
Hmm?
What you say?
I was gonna say I agree with Taz earlier, though. They just need to take their animation team writers and make them write the movies.
Exactly.
Yep. Marvel needs to do the same thing with their writers, only take their movie writers and make them write their fucking TV shows.
Facts.
'Cause
I don't know if that
I
would
can't see
translate
a
well,
single
though.
episode of those things.
Man.
No, we don't need to
Man, I
discuss
saw
that.
one episode. It was
was
dude
garbage.
garbage shit, man.
I mean,
I'm
wha-
like, bro, it's Inhumans, man.
I can watch the
What is
whole Arrowverse, but I can't sit through a fucking episode of the fucking Marvel ones. Oh,
Nope.
terrible.
Cloak and
was it
Dagger was terrible.
garbage.
I actually thought Cloak and Dagger
Agents
was
of
like
S.H.I.E.L.D.
actually
was
pretty
pretty-
decent.
No,
It
bro.
was okay because it was like teenage BS. Remind me of Dawson's Creek back in the day. But
Oh,
That's why I
man.
want my fucking superhero shit.
Man.
yeah,
You just shit on that pretty hard.
yeah, but I mean,
Fucking
yeah,
Agent
and
Carter,
then-
Peggy, you can't watch that shit. Fucking
yeah, that
oh
that
god,
was-
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started off strong and then turned to shit. I couldn't wait for that shit to end.
It really did.
but it ended really
I
ended
guess.
I did not like Agent Carter. Agent Carter was
doo doo.
trash.
doo dog shit.
Doo doo. That's what I'm saying. Like if you look at the bigger picture, it's hard to deny the fact that DC, in terms of small screen, in terms of comics right now, in terms of games, and hell, right even right now, some of their upcoming movies, people are clamoring for. Like that new Suicide Squad looks like that's gonna be a good ass movie.
Yeah.
Yo, have any of you guys seen the Harley Quinn animated
Man, that
Yes, that is my favorite moment ever.
It's hilarious.
And to be fair, they owe us one for Suicide Squad. I was so looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
that fucking movie. Oh
So
my
I'm
God.
glad that one of you brought up Suicide Squad because that's going to be my next segue. Lobo, sir, why all of the hate for Jared Leto's interpretation of Joker?
You want to do the man dance? First dance is yours. I'm going to whip you silly, and I'm going to fuck you stupid.
I think the biggest problem with what people have with Jared Leto's Joker is, well, The Dark Knight came out before, and Heath Ledger's Joker is such a high gold standard, it's almost impossible to follow. I think a lot of the problems also has to do with his character design, his motivations, everything like that. Also, he doesn't really have a complete story in the new Suicide Squad movie. I think it would have benefited if we got a movie of just him and Harley Quinn.
I dig that.
Also, and talking about his design, like his tattoos, everything. Were you looking at his whole like original press photos and everything? The only thing I could describe him as like if a juggalo took over a cartel. He's got the suits, he's got the gold gun and all that shit, and he's wearing clown paint with stupid ass tattoos.
That's perfect.
That is fucking amazing. If you go the psychopath route, you're basically biting off Ledger. If you go the clown prince of crime, you're biting off of Nicholson. If you go with the zany, wacky, over the top, then you're biting off Romero from the Adam West TV show. Really, the only other place you have left to go is fucking Crime Boss.
And he did it really well.
I was convinced. I was convinced of him as like a potential crime boss. The way he shot Common in the fucking nightclub and didn't give a fuck. That was some Al Capone shit.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like the tension you get in Tarantino movies, where
that's actually a good comparison.
That's a really good comparison.
Like in the opening scene from Inglourious Bastards, where the like Nazi dude is like in that house, and they're trying to find the family. It like that kind of like tension where like he's just this evil fucking dude and he knows he's in control the whole time, but you have absolutely no idea when the fucking hammer's going to drop. That's the feeling that I got.
That's what I liked about his performance. I liked the fact that you didn't know if this dude was going to fucking shoot you or if he was just going to laugh and walk away, because it was genuinely it wasn't like the he was just creepy. Now I do think the tattoos did him a disservice.
Before we switch gears, though, I do want to say something about the Jared Leto Joker. Supposedly, there's 3 hours of footage of him and Harley Quinn and Batman.
Right.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Thank you for that, Lobo. I appreciate that. Now, with that being said, I will say where Marvel did at one time reign supreme, and that was the fucking 90s. In the 90s, the only thing DC had going for it, and just in terms of small screen, was Batman the Animated Series and the Animated Adventures of Superman. Both were great cartoons. Later on came Justice League and then Justice League Unlimited, but let's not sleep on the fact that in the 90s, you had the only X-Men cartoon that fucking mattered.
Yeah. Everyone knows that music.
Spider-Man?
Huh?
Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah. I'm just starting with the X-Men one.
X-Men, oh, yeah.
When you hear
that
music, man, you know that that shit. You stop what you're doing and you watch that shit.
I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday.
I watched it today. That Spider-Man cartoon of the 90s, unfucking touchable. In my opinion, no Spider-Man cartoon that's come out after that has ever held a candle to that shit. Everything in that 90s cartoon of Spider-Man was done perfectly. You had Blade and Morpheus and fucking Iron Man, and you name it, they were in that fucking cartoon.
Madam Web, the Beyonder.
Oh, God, Punisher, Beyonder, Madam Web, fucking Scarlet Spider. I mean, they did everything right outside of that.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, what's up?
Since you're saying about the animated universe, which is big right now.
It's huge.
Right now, there's a big boom with anime.
Yes.
And when you look at how popular anime is, you gotta look at DC animated movies like somewhere near there, not close.
Well, you
but somewhere
remember?
near
Do
there.
you remember a couple of years ago when Marvel did their anime series? There was There was an anime Wolverine, an anime Blade. I understood what they were going for, but they fucking failed. They fucking failed miserably. Wolverine's looks like a 22-year-old fucking emo that just got kicked out of the fucking band.
And he sounded like one too.
He did. Blade, bro, not every black dude that shaves his head is Blade. Like that, he looked like every other black dude walking down the street. He didn't even talk like he was going to whoop some ass. Like with DC, what they're doing with their animated properties, I like what they're doing because they're playing it smart. Let's only adapt the shit that people fucking care about. Let's adapt, the fucking what's that shit? The Dark Knight Returns, Volume 1 and 2. Let's adapt Justice League: A New Frontier. So we reach out to the old heads that remember the golden age of comics. I dig that shit. And that's exactly what they did back in the late 90s, early 2000s with the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It was smart. It was fucking genius. And then, like all things, they started to cater to try to sell toys. And that's where DC fucks up. And that's one thing that I will give Marvel. If you ever walk down the toy aisle of a fucking store and you look at a Marvel toy, or here's Punisher, he's fucking jacked to the gills, there's a sniper rifle, and he comes with a comic book. Sweet. Nice. Then you look across the aisle and you look at the DC shit, it's fucking Teen Titans Go shit. The fuck is this?
Might as well be a Bratz doll.
Facts. When Teen Titans came out, was it sometime in the mid 2000s?
Yeah,
2004, right. I believe.
About 2004? Sounds about right. Love it or hate it, it kept you entertained for the most part. Because all of their characters were pulled directly from the comic books, except for Cyborg and that Booyah shit. But hey, I get it.
Cartoon Network for you.
Exactly. All black people say Booyah! Like, okay. But I dug the fact that you never knew which incarnation of Robin that was. You just knew that the relationship between him and Batman was soiled, and he was not reaching out to that motherfucker for help for any reason.
Not at all.
Raven was Raven. She'll send your ass to hell, whatever. I liked the fact that, for the most part, they had some dark storylines, and I'm actually shocked that they even had adapted the fucking Judas Contract and made it work without all the rapey underage girl shit. That was impressive. They were able to pull that off.
I don't even remember that.
Oh yeah, the story. You don't remember the storyline of Terra when she was basically an agent of Deathstroke, and they were in a very explicit relationship, and that's how he was able. That's how he was able to basically control her.
That is
like 14
dark.
in the car.
It's
wait, what?
Yeah, the story of Terra was that she was working for Deathstroke. Deathstroke basically found this fucking runaway, befriended her, taught her how to use her telekinesis powers of throwing the earth and rocks and being a fucking earthbender. And she had a temper, and when she loses her temper, she loses control of her powers. That was always her biggest downfall. He needed someone to be able to infiltrate the Teen Titans to be able to basically steal dossiers and folders on the Teen Titans, the Justice League, etc., etc. I mean, Deathstroke can't fucking do this. He's a grown-ass man. So he trains this girl, befriends this girl, and in order to control this girl, he's in an explicit relationship with this girl.
He giving her the meat.
Yeah, he's giving her the Deathstroke.
It is very about 1 second.
Yeah, he's obviously putting it down like nobody else ever could or ever had before. So she was down to do whatever the fuck he said, and she infiltrated the Teen Titans, got him all the shit, and was doing fine until she started, wanted the relationship to pursue further. But he got what he wanted at that point. She loses control of her fucking powers, brings the roof down on everybody, and she dies. And they have a monument of her somewhere in the fucking T-Tower or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But that was the shortened version of Terra. And that storyline was the Judas Contract. Get it? Judas, like the Bible? And again, that's why I gotta put DC above Marvel. How about yourself, Justice? DC or Marvel?
I'm a Marvel man. I still watch DC. I enjoy it. But I've always been about Marvel.
Okay. Lobo, how about yourself? DC or Marvel?
all things considered, I'm going to have to go DC.
All right. UTBABYA.
So kind of depends on what we're talking about. I actually think DC is situated in a better spot because they, like you were saying, other than the cinematic universe, they kind of are dominating in all the other areas. And I think with the Snyder cut release, we're going to start seeing them build up that cinematic universe, and Marvel isn't going to really have shit to do other than X-Men if they can get that figured out. And so I think we're going to see DC just kind of dominating from now on.
Mustang. DC or Marvel, sir?
It's hard. So here's what I'll say. I want to say DC is 20 years older than Marvel is, somewhere around there. DC started in the 30s. Marvel started in 51, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Somewhere around there.
Someone can fact check me on that. But either way, so I would say overall, yeah, you gotta give it to DC. More content. The point you make about video games and cartoons and the animated movies, they clearly knock it out of the park.
All right. Deku. Marvel or DC, sir?
Marvel.
Is it because of the Batman thing again?
Nah, just because they're better. When it comes to the cinematic universe, yeah, Marvel. But okay, like when it comes to the I guess comics and TV shows, yeah, DC. But regardless, I'm gonna take Marvel.
Okay.
Grew up on Marvel. Love Marvel.
I respect that. All right. Well, gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for us to review our wonderful crap-tastic flick of the evening. 1990s Darkman.
And now, our feature presentation.
Who
No foolish heroics, if you please.
is Darkman? They destroyed everything he had, all that he loved, everything that he was. Now, crime has a new enemy, and justice has a brand new face.
I was afraid that you wouldn't want me anymore.
Of course I still want you.
The good news is that I know who's behind our little troubles of late. Finish it.
He has the power to look like any man,
These two are both sons of witches!
but he is unlike any man.
I gotta tell you something about me. He's a cockroach. You think you kill him? And he pops up someplace else.
In the darkest hour,
Julie, who's the real monster here?
there's a light that shines on every human being. But one. From director Sam Raimi, Darkman.
Lobo, would you be so kind as to synopsize this movie for us?
I think the trailer kind of did it well. Okay, so this is a comic book inspired superhero origin story in probably the most zaniest way ever. It's all about a guy who is a scientist working on artificial skin for burn victims. Mafia comes in to incriminate him. He gets all fucked up, all burned up, lab destroyed. His entire life is destroyed. So now he's like, I got to get my girlfriend back and I got to get revenge.
Would you say she was taken?
God damn.
It's pretty obvious what's going on here, right?
What?
Alternate universe.
I can't even follow up with that now.
You're a fucking nerd. You're a fucking nerd. And no one likes you. No one likes you.
Yeah, I had to give that for myself for that Taken joke.
You deserve it, yeah.
Yeah, so basically he's got to rescue his fucking girl, and he has no real fighting abilities whatsoever, and he has no superpowers other than the fact that he just doesn't feel pain. So he uses his skin graphing fucking skills to make himself masks of the individuals that have done him wrong. So he infiltrates their, I guess you could say their syndicate or whatever, and basically fucking plucks them off one by one while looking like someone within that group. And he rescues the fucking girl, and that's pretty much the synopsis for fucking Darkman. And it was followed up by 2 sequels, Darkman 2, The Return of Durant, and Darkman 3, Die Darkman Die. We won't speak of those other than those titles.
I believe they were shown out of order.
Shitty titles.
That was it.
Which one?
What do you guys think about this movie? I like I said, this was one of those movies that when it came out, I remember being a little kid going to the movie theater and seeing it, and I remember just absolutely loving it when I was a kid. And when I got older and started working at the video store, this was another one of those movies that was rented all the fucking time. And you got to think, when this movie came out in 1990, this actually helped kickstart the superhero craze of the 90s. Like I said, Tim Burton's Batman had came out the year prior in 1989, and everyone wanted to get in on superheroes. So people were buying up properties to superhero franchises left and right. And the Raimi brothers, fresh off the success of their fucking Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Dark, well, I don't think Army of Darkness had come out yet, but Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and whatnot, they were fresh off that success. They were still considered like maverick filmmakers. They tried to buy the rights to the Shadow, and foolishly they started filming what was going to be their Shadow movie without actually having obtained the rights. Once they realized they couldn't get the rights, they kind of had to scrap a bunch of shit that they were doing, and their story ended up turning into Darkman. Now, Darkman was not a huge hit when it first came out. It didn't light the world on fire. It definitely developed a cult following over the years, and so much of a cult following that most people don't realize the ending to this movie, where Darkman is walking into the crowd disguised as a young Bruce Campbell, and he says the lines, something along the lines of like, "I'm everywhere but nowhere, I'm everyone but nowhere," something along those lines, and he just disappears into the crowd. That scene has been used in numerous movies since this came out. They used it in Rick and Morty. They used it in The Simpsons a couple of times. They used it in Family Guy. They used it in, I want to say, there were some other live action movies that they used that same ending where he basically just disappears into the crowd. And
they used it in The Incredible Hulk.
Thank you. That was a movie I was thinking of. Yeah, they blatantly stole it and used it in The Incredible Hulk. And this movie didn't light the world on fire, but there was a lot of things about this movie that have been borrowed from other movies, and there are a lot of things about this movie that kind of make it stand out to where it holds its own. The idea of this Phantom of the Opera looking motherfucker, which is basically the inspiration for his face, is horribly disfigured, but yet he still has his smarts, and he still has his fucking IQ genius, and he uses that as a means to not only exact revenge, but basically turning him into a latent anti-hero, was fucking genius for its time. Now, granted, a lot of the special effects and shit don't hold up very well today, because correct me if I'm wrong, he had in 90 minutes before his face would basically his fake skin would deteriorate. So whatever he had to do,
daylight,
he only
90
had
minutes before it would break down. At night, it would last like all day or all night.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, anything in the day, he had 90 minutes, which makes sense because the sun would fucking break down the molecules and shit. So I got that part. I just thought, just in terms of a plot and a storyline, it was different than every other superhero movie that was coming out around that time. Because like down that time, you had the fucking Phantom with Billy Zane, and you had the fucking Shadow with one of those Baldwin brothers or whatever. Those were all big theater releases, and I actually thought those sucked more than this movie. UTBABYA, what are your thoughts on Darkman?
I mean, I'm a pretty big Liam Neeson fan.
As am I.
So it's hard for me to hate on anything he does. But yeah, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. It's not Citizen Kane.
It is not.
But I liked it.
Okay. Lobo, how about yourself?
I actually like this movie. I've been watching it for years. The opening shootout scene is one of my favorite movie scenes to go back and just watch on its own.
Nice. Justice, how about yourself?
Yeah, it's a classic, man.
It is.
It didn't age very well, the special effects. I think it was certain parts they did well, and in certain parts they were like, you could tell it was just low budget.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of it they just fucking phoned in.
Beginning scene, that black guy, you remember what he played on? his most famous scene?
Refresh my memory.
Boyz N the Hood.
No way.
Police officer.
Yep, the cop. Oh, man.
You are so right.
I was so happy when he got killed and stuff. I was like, yeah.
Ricky!
Ears lobbed off by a cigar cutter.
Oh man, dude, good eye.
I ain't gonna lie, that was straight gangster.
Wasn't it though? Dude, yeah. Mustang. How about yourself, Sarah? What you think of Darkman?
You know what? I'm getting to the point where I feel like it's not fair to judge the special effects of these movies. So I'm gonna say it from that perspective, it's not right because I mean, it was 30 years ago.
30 years. This movie is 30 years old.
Yeah, so when you see people getting shot with absolutely not a mark on them as far as bullets or, they didn't even have the decency to put blood spatter on. So yeah, that was hard. But I understand that, right? Like 30 years ago. What I will say is it was an impactful, influential film.
Deku! Sir, your thoughts on Darkman?
Well, you already guys know how I feel about this. It's just straight up trash. And
What
the
movie were
reason
you
being,
watching?
it was straight. Oh, okay. Let me finish. The reason being is because for one, the fight scenes was terrible. Granted, the how they portrayed all the explosions and stuff and like the weird shit. Yeah, it was 30 years ago and everything, but still, there were some good movies at that time that were way better looking, cleaner looking than the bullshit that I watched earlier today.
Can you name off one of those 30-year-old low-budget superhero movies? Can you let me know which one so I can look it up?
Lone Wolf McQuade.
Wait, what would you say?
Can you let me know one of those?
Well, I didn't even know that was low budget. So you just told me, but I can just name one movie that was actually better looking, cleaner. Is Rambo.
Have you actually watched First Blood?
Yes, I've watched Rambo.
I think that was a low budget.
We're not talking about Rambo. We're talking about First Blood.
Rambo was not a low budget movie.
How about this? Boyz N the Hood.
That wasn't low budget either.
It wasn't?
No.
It seemed like it was pretty low budget.
Damn, no. What the fuck?
That movie was
seemed like a regular
the entirety of NWA.
So, Menace to Society was the low budget one.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, them.
And
you are all wrong. You had Boyz N the Hood, theatrical. Menace II Society, theatrical. New Jersey Drive, low budget as fuck.
Okay, fair.
I didn't see New Jersey Drive.
I never heard of that. You say New Jersey Drive? I never heard of that.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna take your card.
I can't. Man, you never seen New Jersey
I
Drive?
didn't see it.
There's a lot of black movies I haven't seen, and I got my black
Is that
card
what
taken
Bokeem-
away from me.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't see
What did you say?
No, I didn't
There's
see
a
it.
lot. Wait, what?
What did they're not? There's a lot of what kind of movies?
I said there's a lot of movies that I myself have supposed to see.
You said
haven't.
black movies.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I cannot believe you would play the Wraith card. Oh my god.
do we have a special visitor today?
Fucking black movies? Oh my god. They're people too. Like, I walk down the street and I see them and I wave to them. And they sometimes wave back. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna just, categorize, their music or their clothes or their culture or their films. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Categorize it.
Oh my god. I get it, because, you're dark skinned and all, so you're like, the blacker the berry, the sweeter some other shit, I don't know, but whatever. Oh my god. Fuck. I can't believe you would do that.
I've never seen Roots either.
I'm about to call you the N-word. Oh my god, you've never seen Roots? That is the movie that made me hate my own people. Oh my god. I watched Roots and I just wanted to slap my dad and be like, hey, next time we go out for chicken and waffles, you need to tip them better.
Oh god.
Oh my god. That's so wrong of you. And first off, New Jersey Drive is the fucking bargain bin of, like, as you would call black movies. Like, you could even give that movie away, even in the fucking 90s.
Was it better than New Jack City?
I should slap the fuck out of you. What? Is it better than New Jack City? What the
He
fuck?
really said
You really just fucking said that?
I haven't seen it. You
You
said
should
something
be
great
fucking
shit about it. Mike. Was it better than New
What
Jack
the
City?
fuck?
I never seen New
What is
Jersey.
wrong with you motherfuckers? You've never seen New Jack City?
No, I've seen New Jack City,
Are
motherfucker.
you sure?
I haven't seen
Did
New
you
Jersey
fucking
Drive.
watch it?
I haven't seen all of New Jack City.
Deku, what the
You
fuck?
what?
I haven't seen all of New Jack City.
Oh my
What
god.
part did you stop on?
How could you stop?
Oh my
How
god.
could you stop? That's
Lobo has
That's
more
right.
street
Oh,
cred than
shit.
both of you. Fucking Lobo's got more street cred. The fucking hater of ovaries has more fucking street cred. Oh my god.
Hey man, at least I don't think self-defense suck. Women's self-defense suck.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked.
Okay. Wow.
Fucking hater.
No,
But at least he doesn't,
so-
like, you know, subjugate topics of films in my categories of white or black films. Oh my god.
That is a hill I definitely will not die on.
Yeah, you'll just die in the fucking hill of I hate ovaries and all things mammary glands, you fucking fuckwit.
Okay, so we've established that New Jersey Drive does not hold a candle to New Jack City, correct?
I know individuals who did not hang out with a lot of black people. I can tell.
So it's like, oh sweet, whatever. So it's like the I got the hookup of
What?
What
black
the?
movies.
Where are you getting these fucking examples from? What the fuck? I got the hookup?
It was a low budget fucking movie that was basically like.
I mean, pardon my French, but nigga, what?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Ashley, I don't think you can say that.
Say whatever the fuck I want. I got black friends.
Oh, is that? I don't know if that's how that works, but okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's
You
how
know
it
what?
works.
You can
Keep your
say that
opinion
word,
to yourself,
but
Chachi.
results may vary.
So fuck you guys. I'm giving this movie a 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Even they are like, really, man, this movie was trash, bro.
Lobo, your score
I'm gonna give it a 6.
on a scale of 1. Okay. Wow. Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm impressed, sir.
I want to remind you that the Street Fighter 2 animated movie got 5s across the board.
Across the
And
board.
you want to give Darkman a 6.
A 6.
All right, fine. I'll give it a 4 just because you guys are being
No.
fucking pansy.
If
There we
if
go.
you
That's more
no. If you truly believe that Darkman was better than Street Fighter 2,
nope, we're
the
gonna
animated
badger
movie,
I
him
would like
into
to point out it was not on the Street Fighter podcast.
Stand by your
wasn't-
dumbass conviction.
He wasn't on that episode. He wasn't there for the scale.
And now that
we
he knows,
okay, you know
I
what?
was not there for that. So
I will accept your offering of 4. Justice.
and a half.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
And only because, again, I'm not gonna go hard on the the effects, but I gotta give it a 4. It would have got a 5, but the effects was it for me.
Okay.
It aged well.
UTBABYA?
yeah, you know what? I was gonna say 3.5, but I'll give it a 4.
Man, all right. We're all on the same page. All right. Mustang.
3.
Fuck you. All right, so Deku. Deku.
Man,
Keep in mind, sir,
you guys.
you've never even seen the predominantly, centralized African American movies of the 90s, so I have to take.
What does this have to do with this trash
I'm just saying,
bullshit movie?
I have to take your opinion with a grain of salt, sir.
What does this have to do with this trash bullshit movie? I seen this movie. Like, you know what? Because of that, I was gonna be nice and get this shit a 1. This movie gets a 0.5. All you guys are smoking all the dicks of the world, and I don't know what you guys saw. And this movie is straight ass.
Holy shit. Justice, it's that time again, sir. Having now watched this movie, I am interested to see what you feel is the technique of the day.
Improve your skills, son. Harden your body. Become the number 1 man. Do not ever let anyone beat you.
So since 90% of the movie was Darkman getting his ass whooped.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna go with brawn, but we're gonna go with brains. So one of his abilities was, to be able to make a face of a person and make it into a mask. So that scene where he's fighting the guy with the gun and he's putting faces on people and the guy is shooting people and he's like, "Oh no, that's not Darkman. Oh no, that's not Darkman." And he's taking the mask off. I thought that was one of the coolest scenes out of the movie. He just pushing people out with the mask on. That he's shooting them. The guy just shooting around like, "Where's Darkman? Where's Darkman?" And then he pops up with his face on and just gets scared shitless.
You know what movie copied that? Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
Remember there's the John Woo one where the dude's in like the underground caverns or whatever, and he takes the fake mask of that dude, and the fucking guy tortures him and beats the shit out of him, and you come to find out his mouth is fucking duct tape and it's actually his homie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, got you. Remember that one.
Justice, since you're on such a roll with the nostalgia, sir, won't you take us down memory lane?
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
All right, so we're gonna keep up with the theme. We talked about a lot of crossovers between DC and Marvel. Who would win? I know we had some private discussions about MMA because Gegard Mousasi is the best middleweight in the world.
Not over Adesanya, goddammit.
Neither here nor there. Let me finish.
That's right. You guys heard this shit first. Justice feels that Gegard Mousasi would smoke Adesanya.
He wouldn't get to Adesanya.
You hear that fucking silence?
What? Okay, but either way,
he has the best jab in the world. I'll give you that.
He does have a good
jab.
jab.
He's not in the UFC anymore, bro.
But he was smoking, so he wasn't piecing people up when he was there.
But he got pieced up too.
Who?
Uriah Hall the first time. Yoda Machida.
Okay. That was a questionable decision. Uriah Hall, he came back and got that back, beat him down.
Yeah, he got it back, but he still
made Chris Weidman.
Chris Weidman. Okay. Chris Weidman.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, Chris Weidman went okay. Who hadn't beat Chris Weidman in the last couple of years, man? Come on, be honest.
No.
First of all, I've never been a Weidman lover anyway. Like
he made him quit.
I have never forgiven him for the Anderson thing. So
he tried to find a way out. He quit.
Okay.
Neither here nor there.
Anyway.
So you got Pitbull calling out Dana White for $1 million and Volkanovski. So Dana's not going to do this because he tried this before with Chuck Liddell back in 2003 with Pride Total Conflict.
That's not why he's going to do it. It's like, so back in then, the UFC was still up and coming. He was still trying to make a name.
That's neither here nor there, bro. He did try this. He put money on Chuck Liddell for Total Conflict.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell went in there and beat Overeem and then got his ass whooped by Rampage. Chuck Liddell went against the game plan because he threw no leg kicks, and then Pride was supposed to send Vanderlei over to UFC, and that shit did not happen after Vanderlei won the tournament.
You were talking about a time when there was like a heavy, the UFC now.
UFC was still number one organization in North America.
It's not what it is.
And Pride had Asia. We're not even finna do that, bro.
Nah,
come on, man.
He just shut you down.
The UFC is No, he ain't shutting shit down, right? The UFC was still damn near in negatives in 2003, bro. Like they
Zuffa and the Fertittas had the what? It started with the B in Las Vegas. They was hitting it every other month with pay-per-view. We talking about the height of GSP, bro. Come on, man.
Get the fuck out of here. GSP is the hype of GSP was not fucking 2003, dude. Like what the? Okay, anyway. Look,
come on, man.
The height of the UFC hit fucking mainstream, became big as shit between 2009 2011. I want to say like right around that was a sweet spot when the UFC became the UFC as we think of that shit right now. For the last 10 years, it has been the dominant premier fucking
when that was
you really gonna have this argument?
the best sports show when Robbie Lawler was on there. Then you go into after prior Total Conflict. Then you go into the Ultimate Fighter. This is before that, bro. GSP was still there with Carl Parisian and Matt Hughes. Come on, man.
Yeah, he was there.
You
but
talking to the wrong guy about this type of stuff.
I'm not
it.
I'm not.
I know it. I was doing this.
Yes.
I was doing this.
Nah.
What I do?
Look, this is my point, right? You're sitting here saying the reason why Dana White won't do it is because he tried it before and it didn't go
this is from a fan aspect. You trying to be all political and shit? Bro, I'm a fan. We are fans. We are not professionals.
We all fucking fans. But I'm telling you right now.
So what are you talking about? Why are you so serious about this whole thing? Like you on some nut shit tonight, bro.
Dana's not gonna support you saying dumb shit.
I'm not saying dumb shit. I'm being a fan, bro. I got an opinion. What
you
are
some dumb shit?
You're right. You know what? The UFC was the biggest thing in the world.
So you telling me I can't have a fucking opinion?
In 2003, the UFC was the biggest thing in the world. Dana didn't do it because
you telling me I can't have an opinion?
You can have whatever you want, man. Go ahead. That's fine. I'm done.
I'm sorry, but the line of the day is you want some nut shit.
That's fine.
I can't breathe over here.
Oh god. Oh, my fucking stomach hurts. Oh. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Deku, Justice, Lobo, Mustang, UTBABYA, and you guys once again contributed to a hell of a show. And I thank you all for taking the time to giving your insight and your input in regards to the world of comics to films, extended universes, and cinematic universes. Deeply appreciate it. And we can go ahead and get the fuck out of here. Deku, do me a favor, man, before we sign off. Plug your show.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. I have a new YouTube channel called FlowState2207. That is FlowState2207, capital F, everything else lowercase, space 2207. Got some good content on there. Me training at House of Aliens Underground, me traveling, vlogging, that type of stuff. Might be doing some reactions to a lot of sports and just what's going on in today's world. And hit my DMs up, FlowState2207 on Instagram. But I want to react to anime, movies, whatever it is. Let me know. I got you.
That's what's up, man. Well, gentlemen, that was all I had for you guys for this evening. Let's get the fuck out of here. Be sure to listen, like, share, and subscribe for all the latest episodes, news, and updates. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at fistfights.friedricepodcast or at H8L.muay thai. On Twitter, follow us at H8L_Fight Talk.